Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today, in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be recreating Zonai Devices out of other Zonai Devices. Let's get started. But first, we're going to need to get some materials. Now that we found a nice place to build, the first thing we're going to make is the hover stone. Surprisingly enough, all we're going to need for this build is a wing and 4 fans. The first design I tried was a simple 6-fan design where I had all of the fans canceling each other. I totally thought this would work until I remembered that gravity exists. I tried a bunch of other goofy designs and don't look at that. Finally, I did the most basic design possible and just put a bunch of fans on the bottom. I ascended into it and it worked. Hoverstone complete. I admit it wasn't perfect. And in comparison, this is a real hoverstone. They work about the same. You can ascend into both of them. The real one just stays a bit more still and doesn't fly away from you. The next item on the list is the steering stick, which may be the hardest Zonai device to replicate in the entire video. But we will prevail! I don't know why I did that. If you're wondering why I found a new location, it's because we're going to need a lot of room for this one. But I may have run out of materials. Now for this next one, all we're going to need is a wing and 4 fans. Wait, that's the same materials as last time. My first design was simple. I would simply attach 4 fans to the side of the wing and lift them each up in order to steer in one direction. And, well, I had a small amount of trouble attaching the fans, but once it got up and running, it was actually pretty cool. Well, not that version. It might have needed some stabilizers. Or one. One will do the trick. Then it was time for the final test. When it was in the air, I grabbed a fan, rotated it, and stuck it back on. And before I knew it, I was going backwards. I stuck the fan back on downward, and I was going up again. Then I tried to go right, and to my surprise, and amazement, and happiness, it worked. Yeah, I didn't. But the point is, it's steering, my arm's the stick, I'd say it's good. That's right, next up is the flame emitter, and we're coming in hot with a ton of the great, and maybe I should have had a bit more hearts before doing that. Wait, what do those buttons say? Do they say like and subscribe? First, we have to find something that will properly light on fire. So let's test it out. I mean, okay. This might just burn, but yeah, it burned. But the torch won't. Bum, bum, bum. My first prototype was this simple contraption here. A plank of wood on bottom, 2 fans, and a torch. The idea was to blow the fire off the torch. And when I lit it, this is what happened. It went right up, the wood plank totally burned, and the torch didn't blow fire. Clearly, I needed a new idea. This was design number 2. with absolutely nothing that could unwantedly catch on fire. But when I lit it, nothing happened. Next, I moved on to this design. It was simple. The cannon would blow through all the planks of wood, and it would go all the way over to this torch, lighting it, emitting its flames onto the torch. And it didn't. There were too many layers of wood, and the cannon completely flew off. At this point, I was completely at a loss and had no idea what to do, until suddenly it came to me. I built this design, and I'll admit it wasn't a fully connected machine. I connected it later and it worked the exact same, so I definitely call it a win. But it wasn't a win until I found the lit torch. But when I did, I knew that I had done it. Flame emitter complete. Next up is the rocket. But of course, I ran out of materials. Again. Right off the bat, I knew what I was going to do with this one. It may have been a little bigger than a normal rocket, but I was pretty confident in it. I took it for a spin, and I was actually nervous about how much energy it was taking and how slow it was going, but then it just kind of launched. I mean, it was crazy after a while. As I got higher up, it just went faster and faster and gained speed, and then I just went down, and I was completely yeeted off. And yeah, it was crazy. This thing actually suffered 0 damage after flying for like 30 feet. This just dropped from maximum height, and there is absolutely no damage. I can say with certainty, rocket complete. Ooh, sorry, caught me at a bad time. I can't really talk right now. 1 second. If you didn't get the gist from me being completely frozen, we're doing the frost emitter. This was my first design. The cannon was held up in place, and it would blow the ice fruit all the way out into wherever it would go, and it would hopefully emit frost. It didn't. There was a small amount of frost, but not enough. It was clear that I needed to try something else. This was my next design. The idea was that the spring would cause the spike to jab into the ice fruits, and frost would be emitted. When I hit the spring, it actually happened, and I got a good few seconds of frost. And I know it didn't appear for long, but I think if I had been standing next to the machine, I would have totally frozen. And I can prove it. There, right there, is frost. And now I can say, frost emitter complete. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Oh, sorry. Did that one hit you? That's right. We're doing the cannon. Since the cannon helped me with so many of my other builds, I thought, why not make this next one a recreation of the cannon? Let's get started. When I started out, I realized I didn't have quite enough of these wood planks. I needed 4, and there were only 2 where I had set up camp. So I did this little trick that involved auto build. So I just had that in auto build, and I transported over to a shrine.
Then I walked back over to about the same spot. I rebuilt it with auto build, brought it over, and sure enough, those planks had respawned, and I now had 4, which is perfect because that's what I needed for my build. What you see me doing now is making a rectangular prism out of these planks, and you'll see why in just a second. After adjusting this wooden plank to properly fit it, I had installed a spring inside the cannon. From there, I grabbed a square plank and I put it on the bottom of the cannon design. I tilted the cannon at a 45-degree angle and placed it on the square. Now it would launch upright. Then I added these 4 pillars on the side for design. I'll admit, it doesn't look great, but you know, it makes it look a bit more cannon-like. Then I placed a time bomb inside the cannon. I fired it, and the time bomb launched. It took a minute, but then it blew up, and it was awesome. Cannon complete.
Ooh, that one really hurt, but I'm good. And guess what? We're doing the time bomb. Just need to grab some building materials first. After constructing the bomb, this is what it ended up looking like. It was about the same idea as the ice emitter. The 2 springs would clash into the bomb flowers, and the whole thing would explode. And there are a ton of bomb flowers in here, so this thing is going to go to the sky. Now the only question is if it'll work. Just back to the classic sword startup, and that thing absolutely blew. Link was very happy. That guy may have gotten caught in the flames. But I definitely say that is time bomb complete. Even that guy's impressed. This entire challenge had been really hard and really fast-paced, but I was determined to do a few more. Hey, wait, come back. I need you for the video. No, come back. Stop rolling. Stop rolling. Stop rolling. And it's gone. As you probably could have guessed, I'm doing the big wheel next. Once again, the place I was working at didn't have quite enough planks, so I had to do a little trick to get a few more. You know the trick. I showed you it before. But I mean, it still works just the same. I did the trick a few more times. I was going to need a lot of planks. But, I didn't have enough zonite, so this is what it ended up looking like, with some longer planks and some shorter ones. And then I realized I had no fans, which meant I had to get materials. Again! It was also really frustrating to have to leave this build, since I knew I'd have to rebuild it with more zonite. I literally just need 4 fans. And I somehow only have 3 after doing so much to get Zonai charges. Finally getting 4 fans, I could head back and finish the design. And this is what it looks like. I was so excited to test it out. But it needed a bit of tweaking. I just needed to figure out some way to give it a little boost. I then added the little rods on the sides of the smaller planks because obviously the design was tipping, and if we had these, it would mostly even out. And now I was pretty much ready to get started and finish off this design. I gave it a try, and it totally worked until it tried to roll up a hill and stopped working. But, you know, it is what it is. Maybe I shouldn't have rolled it toward a hill. I'd still say that's big wheel complete. This entire video, the fan has by far been the most useful Zonai device for recreation. And, you know, I thought I'd recreate it as the final design. This was my first idea. I would light it on fire, the wheel would start up, and hopefully it would look like a fan and an updraft would be created. Obviously, when I lit it more officially, I would light it a bit more efficiently, and not just one of them. So, yeah. Let's do it. For the test, I looked all around in my inventory for the very right thing to light it on fire, and I ended up doing the red choo-choo jelly. Sadly, it only lit 3 of them on fire, but it is what it is. And I did get an updraft, and yeah, that was good, but they all kind of burned away, and the fan stopped. I'm quite disappointed in this design. So I wanted to try something else. Something that would give me a bit more of an updraft and for a bit longer. And would be more like fan-like. So I came up with this contraption. This contraption was very simple. All it would do was the fire would be put out by the water, which would create smoke. And that beam was just there to kind of be helpful and just show where the updraft was going to be. But when I turned it on, physics wasn't being physics, and no updraft. No, wait, is that the same wheel from before? Is it still rolling? I thought that thing was supposed to despawn. I literally just set it right next to me. That is absolutely crazy. Bro, it's still going. Is it gonna stop? Oh yeah, it stopped. My next design was this. The idea was the spring would be out and the cannon would push it and it would explode and it would launch something forward. I put this side by side with a fan to, you know, test it out. And I put them both on a cart to see how it worked. When I attached the fan to the cart, obviously it did what it was expected to. It launched all the way and it worked. It honestly completely worked, but I expected that. Then I attached the cannon. For this design, I wanted to have the spring out so that the cannon would push it. I tried that, but it didn't work. So then I tried having this spring in, and when it sprung out, it faced the ground and the cannon fired. Now sadly, this cannon is only single use, which is, you know, as you would expect, slightly disappointing, but I'd say that it really worked out, and I'm quite happy with this design. So that is fan complete. Guys, it is crazy. I can't believe we've already reached the end of this video, but I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. But before that, I am going to give you all of the designs for the auto build designs for all the machines I've made, so you can test them out in your own game. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching once again, and I really hope I got all of the Zonai devices, and if you didn't get them there, I'm going to try my best to leave some kind of form of those photos or QR codes in the description so you can access them from there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye!